Tarisland Q&A. I asked you guys to give me a lot of questions you guys have about Tarisland, which you guys did under my community posts and on videos. As you guys know, I'm probably the one with the most information regarding Tarisland, except like the developers and the community managers. So hopefully I can give you guys some answers today. Now, before we jump into the videos, there's some things I want to address. If people have been paying attention following Tarisland, there's been some leaks, and I will not be talking about the leaks out of respect for the game developers and the people working on the game. However, there are some things that I can announce. First of all, there is a new class that will be coming probably during beta, but it's a confirmed class. It seems like a DPS healer, which I talked about a little bit last time, and this class looks very exciting, very amazing. Very excited to check out this class. One of the best looking classes so far, in my opinion. Second thing I can say is the beta will be longer than a week. It won't be like a week like last time. We'll have several, hopefully a couple of weeks or 3 weeks, we don't know, but longer than a week for sure. And third, we might be getting beta keys this time. It won't be like first come first serve like last time. I think they will give beta keys. Hopefully they'll give me some beta keys that I can give out to you guys. I'll ask for it, but no promises. I'll keep you guys updated on that. But that is the information that we have right now. But now let's jump into you guys' questions. All right, first question first. We have, will there be a gender choice option, and will they improve the character customization system so everyone does look somebody's twin brother or sister? And is there open world PvP? What content can you do out in the open world other than world bosses? So first thing first, gender choice option. I know there's a lot of questions around there, and what they have said to me is there won't be yet. We won't have like a male female on each class. However, they're making so that you will be able to choose if you want to play like a role, let's say tank. They will make sure that there will be tanks to play as a male and female. So they might be adding a new tank to the game when it launches. Same with healers. You will be able to play a healer class as a female or male. So you won't be able to, for example, play the priest as a male, but you will be able to play the role healer as a male. They'll be doing those with all the roles. So unfortunately there'll be gender lock, but you'll have a lot of options to choose from. But maybe they'll change that in the future, because it takes a lot of like time and coding for them to like make those massive changes this late. But I do think we might get an option later on. They have talked about character customization. They're definitely be adding more character customization to it, so you won't look like everybody else. So there'll be like a lot of custom stuff that you can get. Is there open world PvP? Not yet. There's no open world PvP in the game. What other content can you do in the open world? Other world bosses? Going to be a lot of exploration events, side quests, reputation quests. So there's going to be a lot of other exploration stuff that you can do in the open world. Next up is, I have a question here from some other person's video. You can buy in-game silver with paid gold, then use the in-game silver to buy items on the auction house. Basically like WoW token. Is this being changed? So this is actually false news. I've seen the YouTube video. It's been a question a lot of time that some guy made, and he did not do the proper research. He thought you could buy gold or silver and exchange it in between, which does make it pay to win, but this is not true. The only thing you can buy with money in this game is the blue crystals, which is the cosmetic currency. You cannot use the cosmetic currency to make into gold or to make it into silver. You can only buy it for the cosmetics and buy cosmetics with it. You cannot buy gold, you cannot buy silver, you cannot exchange it for gold or silver. So do not worry about that. We have Slays. He says, wondering if there'll be any catchable mounts like OSC used to have, or world bosses on the open world. What about super popular place to chill like old Greenmont? So there's no catchable mounts as far as I know. That would be a really cool feature if they do add, but most of the mounts I think is going to come through doing the content and through the costumes and to the shop. And then will it have world bosses? Yes, there will be world bosses to do that will spawn, but since there's no open world PvP, there won't be like a PvP for world bosses, but that might be a thing later in the future. What about super popular place to chill? Yes, they do have like a place to chill. It's called Silverlit for now, which you guys can chill and just talk to the people, be social, all that stuff. Next up we have Ayules. He says, thank you. Really excited the way discussion. Do you think Tarisland will become the best MMORPG for mobile? Yes, this game definitely has the potential to be the best MMORPG for mobile. It's very important that they listen to community feedback. I talked a little bit about in my other video. Be transparent, talk to the community, see what we want, and keep on their promise of being no pay to win. And they definitely have the potential to be the best MMO on mobile. This guy says, you mentioned your guide a lot of times during the beta, cheat sheet or something you look at when you saw puzzles, I believe it. Can you please share it? And can you also upload day 5, 6, or 7 or the rest of the gameplay of the beta? Now, I do have a guide, I do have cheat sheets, but the reason I haven't posted them is because they already said they're making a lot of changes to the game, a lot of new content, a lot of changes. So I might like release a cheat sheet and they won't make sense at all if they changed everything, right? So that's why I'm waiting to release a cheat sheet when I know more stuff, and I will probably release a cheat sheet probably at launch instead of now, because we're still in like the beta testing phase. But I will be uploading guides on, like, if people want to know where to find stuff and how to get stuff, all that stuff. Okay. And he says, can you upload day 5, 6, or 7? There was no day 7 of beta, there was only day 5 and 6, and most of the stuff that I did on day 5 and 6 was attempting raid 4, which all happened on my Twitch, and all that content is gone now because Twitch has a policy of the content can only be there for this amount of time. But I will be simulcasting on Twitch and YouTube when the next beta comes, so you guys can watch more gameplay if you're playing on iOS, because the beta won't be for iOS. Next up, Vinal says, are you familiar with the WoW expansions throughout the years? If so, seeing that the game is a replacement to WoW, is Tarisland accurate to the Burning Crusade? Now, I have to say, I haven't played much WoW, but what I can tell you is that this game is not a replacement to WoW. It's a lot of like similarities with WoW, inspiration from WoW. A lot of YouTubers talking about the WoW killer, WoW this, WoW that. It's not a WoW, it's its own game. You can see some similarities with it with World of Warcraft, but it won't be like World of Warcraft. All MMOs have a lot of similarities, but this will be its own game. So what I can say is, please look at it as its own game, not WoW copy or WoW this, WoW that. It will be its own game. Okay, so play like it is its own game. WoW had 20 years of development and trying to content and everything. This is a whole new game, so you know, take it as it is. Now, next question is, how is the control like on mobile? How's the placing for ability buttons? Are they feasible for handheld combat, especially for PvP? Is there quick dodge button mechanic? How's the targeting and switch targeting like? The mobile client, I must say, is good. It's very like mobile friendly. They know what works on mobile, where the skills are to be placed. Hopefully they will be able to change the UI like you can do on PC. You weren't able to do that in the beta, but you might be able to change it like it suits you, right? So I think it will be good. It's like every other MMO on mobile. They know what works and they gone for that. Is there a quick dodge button mechanic? No, there's no dodge button mechanic, because dodge button wouldn't make sense in the game. It's like a bailout button, and everything about this game requires like strategy. The race requires strategy, so there's no like bailout dodge button in this game, which I appreciate because it's like a classical MMO, right? How's the targeting and switch targeting like? The targeting is good. The switch targeting definitely needs a little bit of work, but it's still early beta. We'll see how it is on the next beta, but overall gameplay on mobile is good from what I experienced so far. Next up is there a sale system in the game? Crafting sales, resource sales, skin sale, etc. Something to please players who like to farm to make money. Yes, if you like to farm and make money, you can work on your life skills and make a lot of money. That's what we did in the last beta. We did a lot of crafting of gear, armor, materials, gathering, and you can use the auction and trading house to sell. There's auction and trading house. There's no player-to-player trading, which I like because it would decrease the amount of bots in the game. But there's a sale trading in the auction house, and they might expand on it later on. But definitely, if you're into like making money, doing a lot of crafting, you can work the economy in the auction house. Next up is, will the monsters in the open world drop any loot, crafting materials, or a gear? Yes, there are some bosses and mobs that drop different type of loot that is required for different things, like achievements, treasure chests, and so on. We have the world bosses that drop gear and currency, and the snow, like, if I'm not wrong, I don't think you can drop crafting material. I don't completely remember, but you will have there will be like a point of actually farming and doing different mobs at certain times. So they're probably going to add like more stuff to it though, like the more armor, the more gear you might require to defeat a certain amount of mobs or certain type of mobs to drop the item that you need for crafting later on. Next up is, will there be instance group content on around launch? Instance content being raised dungeons deals with healers, DPS, and tanks. Yes, the game is based on the Holy Trinity. You will need a tank, healer, and DPS to do dungeons, to do raids, to do exploration sometimes, to do PvP. So every single content is based around needing a healer, needing a tank, needing a DPS. Straight from the launch to the early dungeons too, you will need a good team of 5 that can heal, tank, and DPS. So yes, to that. Next up is, you said during closed beta you make class videos, chess puzzle videos. I can't find them. Did you change your mind? So answering the first question, like I said earlier, I will be making it closer to the global launch. However, I will be making a class video, but class video is a little bit outdated since they're making a lot of new changes, but I will be making a class video for those that want that when we get closer to launch in November. So stay tuned for that. Second is the main difference between Tank Warrior and Tank Paladin. I think Tank Paladin has a more like healing and shields. They had a lot of like shields you can put on, while the Tank Warrior has more mitigations to it. I think Tank Warrior does get better later on in the end game, while the Tank Paladin is super strong early because of those shields. Terraria levels from the raid video will play on EU on launch. Yes, we hope so. If y'all get keys, we will all be playing EU on launch. Do you think they will manage to change the item set appearances? Finally let items show on characters that you're actually wearing? Yes, this is confirmed. Costumes won't be like the only thing changing your appearances. It was confirmed later back that certain gear, probably like legendary gear and stuff that you drop, will change the appearances on your character. Next up, can a ranger class tame any kind of beast? No. Ranger class, the tamed ranger, I think, has like certain amount of animals that it can call, like wolves, bear. I think they're adding like more stuff to it, if I'm not wrong, but you can't like tame a beast in the open world and use it. Basically, it's based on the skills you have. So you'll have like certain animals you can use, certain animals will do different things. How are the class independence in the game? Arcana is doable without a dedicated tank and healer. Yes and no. Most likely, for most of the challenging content, you will need a tank and a healer. However, if you're doing like speed runs, like mythic runs, going for the leaderboards and stuff, what we were doing is we were going in without a tank, sometimes without a healer, to get like the best time to do a lot of DPS stuff. But overall, like if you're doing like challenging content, you will need a tank and a healer. If you're doing, there's a lot of like solo content doing the game too, so you can do it alone. And some of the dungeons, if you're running like older dungeons and stuff, you can run without a healer if you're doing like speed runs and stuff. But mainly you will need a healer and a tank. How many in-game regions will there be at release? Will there be agenda log? So what we know about regions is we're gonna have during the beta, it's gonna be, I think this beta will have Europe, Asia, and America. Last beta was only America and Asia, but I think at launch we'll have Europe, Asia, America, and South America. I think. Not confirmation, but yes. Regarding gender lock, yes, there'll be gender lock, but they'll make sure that you have each gender for each role, like I was talking about earlier. If the game developer said that the game will be truly free to play, not pay to win, how will they monetize it? It will monetize it through costumes mainly, backspace, like things that make your life a little bit easier. They'll have like battle passes, but there will be like no pay to win. That's what we know so far. With the monetization, things might change, but there will be no pay to win, and see if they can maintain that. What are the classes? When is Tarisland releasing? Tarisland was supposed to release in 2023, but MMOs and delays, best love story you'll find in the world. So Tarisland will probably release 2024, most likely 2024, hopefully early 2024. What are the classes? You can check out all the classes on their website, but it's a lot of classes. We might even get like at launch, like right now they're introducing new class, so we might even get like 10 plus classes when launch finally comes. Next up is this guy has a lot of questions, and most of this already answered. First question I've answered. Second, will it be one server per region? Yes, I think so. It seems like they will have like one server each region. Hopefully that's what they do. They might have to open another server if like the game gets crazy influx of players, but I think they're gonna keep like one server each region, which is important. You know, population is important. Is there a guild system? If yes, what are the guild contents and activity? Yes, there's the guild system. Guild can have up to 170 players. They have like a guild warehouse. You have to level up the guild, and they said they're gonna add like guild events and activities to the game, so we might see some cool stuff coming up. For what the PvP content in this game will be open world PvP, arena system, nation war of sorts. There's no open world PvP. However, there's battlegrounds in the game. There's going to be PvP arenas in the game, and I am hard pushing for like guild versus guild content, but there's no confirmation yet. But I think we will see it like later on in the game for sure. But from launch, we'll have like PvP arenas and like battlegrounds. What classes have various builds? Can you create your own build? Have diverse how diverse are the skills? Yes, you can create your own build. There's several builds to choose between, and each skill gives you like a different skill combo, which triggers another skill combo. So you'll kind of want to work on your builds. Obviously, it'll be like certain strong builds for certain things, but there's stuff to play around with for sure, and they're adding and changing a lot of stuff, so we might see even more changes when it comes to the builds. What is the trading system in the game? Can you make a store on a one-to-one trade? Will it be free trade? There's no player-to-player trade, of course, to combat bots, which is a great thing, but there's a trading house, auction house, that you can use actively and sell and buy stuff actively on the auction house. When will it release? Will it release globally? Yes, it will release globally, NA, Asia, EU, and South America. Release probably 2024, early. Might be changes, but most likely. How do we get selected to play the second closed beta? Sign up on their website, and most likely you'll get like a beta key, and if you get the beta key, you can play the game. However, if you're playing on iOS, you won't be able to play. We can watch my streams. The beta coming up in November. Can anyone join, or do you have to play and they pick you? You have to play and they pick you, like I said. But there might be changes. They might do the system like last time, first come, first serve, but most likely they'll give like beta keys this time. Global release or certain region. When they actually release the game, it will be a global release. Like as global as it gets. Some regions might not get it, a few, but you could probably use VPN and get it. No dodge button in the game. This game is not a dodge button MMORPG. There's no point in having a dodge button. It makes no sense. Most of the mechanics require you to actually use shields, to require you to actually move early, learn the strategy of the raids. So there's no like dodge button in the game. Now the last question. Why do you say like Tarisland or Tarisland? I don't know, man. I don't know what to call it. Tarland, Tar Island, like Tarisland. Like, how else am I supposed to say, yo? Okay, leave me alone, man. But that is the Q&A for now. Hopefully that answered a lot of the questions you guys had. If it didn't, you guys should have asked the questions you wanted me to answer, okay? Because I answered every single question I saw, so hopefully it covered most of it. Again, when we have more information about the beta, hopefully very soon, I'll be letting you guys know and updating you guys ASAP. But thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe for more Tarisland content. Check out this video right here. I mean, Tar Island content, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.